Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to Fly Like an Eagle podcast, the post game edition. This is our first post game edition of the Fly Like an Eagle podcast. As the Eagles defeat the Dallas Cowboys 24-20, and I just gotta ask you guys before we deep dive into it, how do you guys feel about the game overall? James, how you doing? How you feeling about this game overall?
Well, it was a bit of a sweat, I would say. I guess it was a little bit of a sweat, gonna admit, but overall, like I said before, last night, 1-0. That's all I gotta say. We're 1-0, so we won't see the Cowboys again. Hopefully, until the NFC Championship game. That Dak hopefully will promise and will whoop his ass again, and hopefully Jalen will have a chip on his shoulder when he sees Dallas again. But overall, thought it was a good win. I thought it was not the way we expected to go, but games are not. I mean, sometimes games are not pretty, but we got the win. We're 1-0, and we're on to Kansas City.
Yep. Joe, how'd you feel about this game overall before we deep dive into it?
I thought the first half was like beautiful.
Mm.
I honestly did. Look, we all knew that the defense was going to take some time
Mm-hmm.
to kind of get back up into a good lather because of losing all the players that they lost. But the offense didn't lose many, if any, one. And so for me, it was seeing Jalen Hurts because I this is all I heard the last couple days is that Jalen Hurts is going to take time for chemistry to build in this offense. The offense might be slow out the gates. They scored 3 touchdowns on the first 3 drives of that half, and so that told me at least these guys are locked in. Yes, I know they didn't have a pass over 8 yards, but you got a guy, and I'll always continue to say this. You got a guy in Jalen Hurts that just makes the strategy work to win.
Mm-hmm.
So in one you trust. In one you trust.
Yep. QB1.
Mhm. Yep, and Joe Scorza comes into the chat and goes, I thought it was a typical season opener. Offense looks in sync right away.
Yep.
So it was good. It was good offensively, but defensively, we got some major things to talk about here. So
Yeah.
actually, before we deep dive into the game, we got to talk about Saquon Barkley. He's
Mm.
number one on the NFL top 100.
Yeah.
He's the best player in the NFL. So, Joe, how do you feel about that? He's number one in the top of the NFL.
I would say that's accurate
Yeah.
because the thing about Saquon is not only did he have the type of season he had last year, but think about like prior to last season.
Mm-hmm.
He basically, you know, set the bar for the running backs, the star running backs in the league right now, because running backs were pretty much kind of being become obsolete as far as money and value to teams. Saquon Barkley changed that viewpoint. And I think then going from that and actually doing 2,000 yards rushing and having the type of season he had, that almost like validated his, what he was kind of pitching to the NFL and to the general managers around the NFL, that a running back is a valuable piece. Now, don't just discard with us after 4 years thinking that's it. You got to think about it. Saquon came over to the Eagles in what, his fifth, sixth year in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a guy that, by all standards, would have been washed up by the old classic viewpoints of running backs in the league.
Mm-hmm.
GMs would not have taken a chance on him just
Yeah.
because you're quote unquote old. I don't look. I didn't say that I was critical of Saquon coming in. I didn't say I didn't think he couldn't do it because I thought he was old. I thought he couldn't do it because I wasn't sure if he wasn't damaged goods because of the freaking Meadowlands. Like I met Life Stadium. Like I didn't know if that field tore his body apart and we were just getting the scraps. Sure enough, he's Bionic Man. He's Superman whatever you want to call it. But like Saquon Barkley definitely deserves to be number one in the league.
No question. Yeah,
James, how do you feel about it?
I think it's well deserved. Gonna admit, I think it's one thing that for me, with somebody like someone that's effective like Saquon, especially in his first year, kind of reminds me of there was a time when Adrian Peterson was on his first season with the Vikings, and he just tore it up in his first season, and you thought, okay, this guy's going to be a great player in the making, and that's what I thought about it. I said to myself, like, he has the whereabouts of Shady and Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch, even like going back a ways, even like all the big running backs that they had. But overall, man, I thought it was one of the best seasons Saquon ever had. I think Saquon probably really, for me, I mean, the one thing that was really surprising, because I remember watching him at Penn State, and I said to myself, damn, this kid's going to be special. Imagine him in Eagles green. But the problem was, the same year he came out, we won the Super Bowl. So I said, oh, shit, now we got. And then on top of it, it was like, oh, great, he's going to the Giants, so he's going to be like a Tiki Barber. Like, he's going to be a chip on our shoulder for the next 10 to 15 years. But then Joe Shane wants to be a little bit of a snarky dumbass and say, hey, give me if you get it back with an offer, let me know how that goes. And I'm thinking, and Saquon's, you know what? F you, you know. So I'm not telling you shit. So he comes to the Eagles and has one of the best seasons ever. So I think it was probably one for me. I mean, I actually did not expect him to be as a big piece like he was, because I saw a lot of his stuff at Penn State. But the season he had, nothing short of amazing. So this is definitely well deserved, in my opinion, that he's the number one player in the top 100 of 2024 and into 2025.
I will give a caveat to this, and I think most people would agree with me. So Saquon gets number one, right? But there's like an assist, like if we're going to put hockey terms into it.
Yeah.
So Saquon gets the goal, but the assist goes to the offensive line.
Right.
Because Saquon doesn't get any of those kind of yards without. It's like the perfect storm. You combined one of the best running backs in the league with the best offensive line in the league, and it creates this perfect storm. And I think that's one of the reasons why he was so successful. And I think that's the reason why he'll continue to be successful as a Philadelphia Eagle, because that offensive line, even though Landon Dickerson went down last night, like that offensive line is pretty stout. I mean, it is very good offensive line. It's one of the top 3 offensive lines in the league. Saquon's like, I get to run behind that. Like, sign me up.
Hell yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons. And I will also say this. Saquon, for the running back position for the Philadelphia Eagles, will do for the Philadelphia Eagles running back position for the next 5 or 6, 7, 10 years what Brian Westbrook did for the Philadelphia Eagles running back room and Deuce Stanley did for the running back room back in the day. He will set a measuring stick for this is what a Philadelphia Eagle running back should look like. Right. This is the mentality that you should be. Now, whether Will Shipley is going to carry that mantle when Saquon's gone, or if there's going to be another running back that comes down the road. I think Saquon's setting that bar, and I'm glad he's setting it in this city.
Yeah.
So for me, right, I'm just going to say this real quick because I want to go into Jalen Carter. So with Saquon Barkley, he should have won MVP. He should have. If he broke that was 2,000-yard record, he would have got a hands down.
Oh, yeah.
He would have got a hands down. But
no
he's the number one player in the league. He's the Super Bowl champion. I'm not going to hold a grudge. I'm not going to gripe over this, right? Still one of the best seasons of all time of any running back ever. And his first season as a Philadelphia Eagle. So I love that. Now, we got to talk about it, man. Jalen Carter. But first, your dad said Vic was able to adjust the coverage that pass rush at halftime, which made the difference. And Wesley says flag was flag. What is up, Wes?
What's up, Wes?
But, yeah, your dad brings up a good point.
He does.
Very good point. So,
oh, man.
Jalen Carter, how do we start off with this, man? I'm going to start off with Joe. How do you feel about this, man?
Oh man.
Okay, so this is gonna come. I've had I don't know. When did I get up? 12, 10 hours to think about this.
Yeah.
I've listened to sports talk. I've listened to other people's opinions. I've, gone on and Googled some articles and all of that. So I've garnered people's opinions. Now, there's a disadvantage that I have. I can only take people for their word. And the reason why I say that is I can't see, so I actually didn't see the video. So I can only take for what people tell me. Now,
Yeah.
this is what I can say. Jalen Carter got goaded by Dak Prescott
Mm.
to retaliate. And I don't care. The football field is 100+ yards long. Dak Prescott's going to sit there and quote unquote tell his offensive line, hey, do you mind if I lean over your shoulder and spit? What in the hell? Like, dude, spit in the huddle. Like, go. What are we doing here? Like, let's not act like you didn't do that with intent. And then he says that he, quote unquote, according to Jason Garrett, take that for a grain of salt.
Right.
So he basically said that Jalen Carter approached him and said, "Did you just spit at me?" And Dak said, "Why would I spit at you?" That first off, listen, you're gonna spit at Jalen Carter because for the last 3 or 4 weeks, y'all been poking the bear. Y'all been going on TikTok and coming up with these videos, and you got Dak Prescott saying we're Super Bowl, we're gonna be Super Bowl contenders and all this. Look, you guys are pretenders, not contenders. There's a difference. And you need, because you guys had an owner that was dumb enough to let your best player on your team walk out that door, don't mean that you had to come at our best defensive player and try to level the playing field. Now, this is where I'm going to tread real lightly. I do not condone anybody spitting on anybody.
Right.
I just think that's disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
However, if I can understand Jalen Carter at the time, in the heat of the moment,
Mm-hmm.
felt like he was disrespected by Dak Prescott. And I feel like, okay, Jalen Carter gets tossed, and I've heard this a couple times today. Jalen Carter gets tossed for spitting. No one should spit at anyone. Everyone should go. Anyone who spits should be thrown out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dak Prescott spit. So why didn't he get tossed?
Mm.
Like, okay, if we're going to level the playing field as is, let's level the playing field. Let's not just, oh, I saw you spit, so you go. It's like, hold on. You didn't think he got provoked? Like, you think that Jalen Carter just was like, hey, I'm just going to go spit at the quarterback just for the sake of spitting at the quarterback? Like, what? So for me, there was a little bit of common sense missing from the refs. And then the game started and the first half played out. 6 or 7 penalties versus 1 called for the Eagles. So you had 6 or 7 high-level penalties called for the Cowboys in the first half, and you had Jalen Hurts getting hit out of bounds, and it was clear, and there was no call. And Dak gets swatted in the helmet, and there's a 15-yard penalty. I'm like, okay, I understand the refs are just, trying to do their job, but don't make it look so blatant that you guys are really helping the Cowboys,
Mm-hmm.
because there was no levity to those, penalties. There were a lot of things that I felt like, weren't valid for what they were called. I'm not saying everyone was, not valid, but for me, I felt like the Jalen Carter thing, I don't feel like he should have got tossed. I honestly don't.
Hmm.
I know it's disrespectful. I get that, but the umpire on the referee on the field only saw half of what happened. We're still waiting. We got Dak Prescott's story, but we still haven't got Jalen Carter's story. So
Hmm.
for me, it's like I feel like I'm dealing with two high school kids. Like
Hmm.
he picked on me, he hit me first. No, 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 no. He hit me first. Like, okay, guys. Shake hands and go to your respective corners. Like, enough is enough.
Right.
I
Alright.
think that the NFL and the referees controlled that game far too much more than they ever needed to. They didn't let the Eagles play the game. They um corralled the Eagles game.
Hmm.
All right. James, before you go, why
Sure.
don't you read the comment from your dad here?
Sure. He says, I don't care what Dak said or did, and Carter cannot do what he did. He know he was baited by Dak because of Carter's lack of impulse and control, but Carter needs to know better than that.
Yeah. And then he also goes, by the way, Goddard was so open because Parsons wasn't there and Jalen used that. True. That is
That's
so
true.
true. All right.
That's true.
James, Jalen Carter. How about it?
So I've been thinking about this since it happened, and I'm gonna quote a great show that I love. In the words of Seinfeld, it was one magic loogie, and that's all for the pun. That's enough for the puns. But all joking aside, um, but
You got me broke, Joe.
oh my god,
Like
so
I should have seen that one coming,
I know,
honestly. I honestly
you know what I
should have
mean.
Well,
seen
you
that
can't
one
see.
coming.
But no, all joking aside, though, I mean, the way it was, I'm a big hockey fan, and Joe, you probably noticed from your time playing hockey too, is that it's not about who the one that drops the gloves first. It's about who retaliates.
Mhm.
It's about majority of the time that sometimes the player pokes you with the stick and pokes you with the stick, and then next time you get roundhouse by somebody, and then you're the one that gets kicked out of the game because you retaliated. That's how I felt about it last night. It was more like it's not about who the chucker was. It was about who was the one that was going to retaliate with the spit, and that was Jalen Carter. So, and the other thing too is that my buddy Billy brings up a very good point here when I was talking about it earlier. Dax knows that Jalen Carter gets easily triggered by stuff like that. So, like him trying to bite the bait, especially that Dak was trying to do, and what Jalen Carter was trying to retaliate about what happened. But the problem is, though, too, I do agree with my dad on this one, is that you got to be better than that. You got to be better about, like, you got to, unfortunately, look, I know it happened with the way it happened. For me, I'm like Steph Jordan. I wish both would get suspended or no suspension at all or either get fined. But regardless of what it is, spit or not, or who started it, it's just like what Joey said, like shake hands, go back to your classes, and hopefully this shit never happens again. But
Yeah.
overall, the thing that I was really pissed off about it, though, it took a lot of momentum out of the first half. I mean, the first half was so exciting. I mean, it should have been more exciting if Jalen Carter was there, and the passes that Prescott had in that game. I don't think it happens with Jalen Carter being there. I think if Jalen Carter was there, I see that Prescott gets a lot of pressure in his face more than anything. So that's one of the other things. And Fangio was like Vic Fangio, rather, our defensive coordinator, like was desperately looking to try to figure out, okay, where do we go from here with Jalen Carter's absence not being in this game? And the refs were like just like an umpire in an MLB baseball game, like. They were basically like, okay, if you hit one more
Senile?
player, go ahead, Joe.
Senile?
Sen-
The
well, senile,
Yeah.
there's a good word. And the other word I would say, too, is that, like, after somebody plunks somebody, then they'll issue a warning and also they'll issue ejections. That's kind of like how the ref was, that the referees were, like, like, basically, with their hair on fire is because, especially what happened with the Jalen Carter thing, and it was like throwing every ticky tack penalty just because it was just getting out of hand more than anything. That's the way it was, guys. I think that's the one thing that really showed why the way the first half went the way it went. But But at the same time, too, it's just like I think I'm in the same boat as my dad here. Is that it cannot happen, but I mean, retaliation always is the one that always gets the penalties, and that's why I'm going to stand at that. I mean, it's not about who started it; it's about who retaliated.
Actually, guys, we have some breaking news. The Philadelphia Eagles just picked up a pass rusher out of nowhere. We just picked up Zadarius Smith. He was from Detroit. He's I think he's like 32 years old. But hey, we got a pass rusher now.
Holy shit!
We just got he will bring his 69 career sacks to Philadelphia. 69, funny.
Wow.
Yeah, we just got Zadarius Smith, man.
Wow.
So, let's look up his stats. We just got he's a defensive end, 6'4", 270 pounds. His birthday.
We lost your mic, pal.
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. So his birthday is actually in a couple days. He's going to be 33. But in his career, in 10 years, he started in 96 games. He played in 106. He had 16 pass deflections, 10 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries. He had 333 combined tackles, 220 solo tackles, 113 assists, 80 tackles for a loss. Quarterback hits, he had 173. And then so we got a pass rusher.
That's awesome.
We just got a pass rusher out of nowhere.
That is awesome.
Joe.
You know what we gave up?
It's just a free agent. We just picked him up.
Oh, okay.
Shit.
I'll take that.
I dig.
I mean, here's really. So I know we're gonna dig into this, maybe not even in this episode, but in future episodes. What I saw last night with Adoree Jackson.
Yeah.
That needs to be rectified, and I think it will be. I think that eventually Howie's going to see how the rosters lay out, and he's going to make a trade for a corner. I think he will. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a team that starts to drop off and is losing their playoff hopes, that they're, quote unquote, in the baseball terminology, sellers. So, I wouldn't doubt that. I'm curious to know where, we brought up 2 names in past episodes. One was Jair Alexander, and another one was Asante Samuel Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I'd take either one of them right now.
Yeah.
I'd take either one of them right now in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Because Adoree Jackson, and keep in mind, he went against CeeDee Lamb last night. Okay. He's going to go against Xavier Worthy next week.
Oh.
That guy's going to cook Adoree Jackson.
Yeesh.
I mean, Adoree may not be able to keep up. This is where I feel like the 2 high safeties is going to be Vic Fangio's best friend. Mm-hmm. And we'll get into that, a little later. But, getting back to the Jalen Carter situation for a minute. Do you guys think that there could have been like any other way that Jalen Carter? Because look, for any of us, if we get spit at, we're gonna lose our shit. Yeah. Like we are. We may not spit back. We may, do something else. I felt like, and this was something brought up. I think Seth Joyner brought it up this morning. He's like, I would have rather have him hit Dak Prescott. Like, I don't condone punching a player or like hitting or pushing a player, but I would have rather him like push or shove Dak Prescott down and get like a 15-yarder, or like if you're going to get disqualified from the game, make it worth it. Like, make it worth it. If you're going to like get kicked out, don't get it kicked out for like a spit. Like, get kicked out where you make an impression, because like James said, like when that disqualification happened, it kind of took the air out of the stadium.
It did.
And it felt like the Dallas Cowboys were like Mr. Burns. They're like, yes, and was kind of like, you guys fell right into our plan. And yet the problem was Dallas's plan was, we get their best defensive player out, we have a chance of winning this game. Guess what? You got the best defensive player out of the game, but you still forgot about one guy. That'd be number one, because number one took over.
So,
Yeah, and that's the thing too, Joe, because you think about it, the way it looks out to me with the Jalen Carter ejection was, it definitely took a lot of the energy out of the stadium for that first half, because easily it could have been like, this is a typical Philadelphia like home opener, like kind of feel like the first game at the Link when it was Sylvester Stallone was in attendance, and it was and then they lost 17-0. Not to that extent, though, because I thought about that when I told my dad last night. I said to myself, man, that's a little too harsh, though. At least, I mean, I wouldn't go that far, because we lost 17-0 to Tampa Bay on the first night at the Link. But
it felt like the defense played with one arm tied behind their back.
Yeah,
the whole game.
Right. Exactly. My dad said it early on in the pod about this too. So, yeah, for me though, but I think the other thing too with the whole circumstance with the penalties, especially after Jalen Carter's ejection, I think it was, like I said, it was more like MLB baseball umps just like trying to issue warnings out before ejections were going to be made, more than anything, going to admit.
Yeah. So honestly, the whole thing I feel about Jalen Carter, I talked about this on a new podcast on the Hardcore Sports Network, the Solution Breakdown, and I said, people get into the moment, right? It's heat in the moment. It's competition. You don't know what you're going to do. You don't know how you're going to plan this. But I'm glad he got over this now. It's only his second season. He's still young. He's still learning. He's still eagerly. What is that word?
No,
it's like he's easily.
Season. It's his third season.
Oh, it's his third?
Yeah, third.
Okay, he's easily still early in his career, but he's easily triggered, and like he's still got to learn how to keep that down and keep a good professional manner.
Well, the one thing,
glad it's done now. We don't have to worry about this in like 7, 8 years.
Yeah, I apologize for interrupting, Mitch.
No, you're good.
The one thing he should do is probably learn something from Brandon Graham, how to trash talk somebody next time too. Maybe that next time when it happens, maybe you give Brandon Graham a call, because he was there at the Super Bowl celebration last night with Jeffrey Lurie. He probably should have asked, like, "Hey, BG, how do you like trash talk somebody, but you don't want to be too aggressive at the same time too?" And look, Brandon Graham never got ejected for that, so maybe that's one thing that he should do, is probably try to figure out, be like the Brandon Graham of the room, and try to trash talk somebody instead of trying to be the wise ass in the room.
Well, I think that's where we miss Brandon Graham, because like, you got to think about this. Dak Prescott goated Jalen Carter. Usually, Brandon Graham's the one goading people when he was playing for the Eagles.
Right.
He's like, "You ain't coming over this way. You ain't coming over this way," and like he's goading them in. I think if you want to give like a master class, Brandon Graham, to this defense, to these youngsters, on how to initiate goading the other team, because Dak Prescott, he got the better of Jalen Carter. Now, I agree with you. We meet the Dallas Cowboys again in week 12 in Dallas. One of the things that I will say is, number one, the officials are going to keep close eye on Jalen Carter in that game. Number two, you might want to, because Dak Prescott may be on high alert, because Mr. Jalen Carter is going hunting for number 4. And that is going to be an interesting here's the other thing, Mitch. I'll agree with you in the sense that, it is what it is. The heat of the moment. This happened. He's young. But it happened early enough in the season where he can humble himself now, learn from this, and now he's got like this, I got to make it up to my team. And maybe he plays out of his mind because he has to make it up to his team. He seems like a guy who is a team first guy.
Mm-hmm.
So look, if this guy's gonna play out of his mind to apologize or to amends what he did, last night, go ahead. Now, here's my question to you guys.
Hmm.
The conversation in preseason, the conversation was Jalen Carter could potentially be a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year.
Right.
After game one last night, people after that incident, people have been saying, well, that basically took Defensive Player of the Year off the board for Jalen Carter. This is where I understand character outweighs stat.
Aggression.
Yeah. Well, character outweighs your ability, your playing.
Right.
Hey, if this guy has 20 sacks this year, right, for a defensive tackle, you mean to tell me you're not going to even consider this guy a Defensive Player of the Year?
Right.
Like, I find that silly.
Yeah.
I really do.
I concur. Yeah, that makes sense.
James, you want to read this comment from your dad real quick before I want to talk more about Zadarius Smith.
Sure,
Zadarius
absolutely.
Smith. Yeah, go for it.
So it looks like last year he had a couple of. My dad brings up a good point. He says that he did have a couple of immaturity issues last year. Got benched by Nick in a game for a quarter for missing meetings, and he's got to grow up a little bit more. Yeah, that's the thing, man. It's just that, like, even though like Jalen Carter might be a great player, his act got to be he's got to control his act. I mean, it's kind of like you have a little bit of a like he's like Jalen Carter is like a great player, but then you got like a Pac-Man Jones at the same time too. Like it's at the same. I mean, I don't want to try to compare and contrast because obviously it's two different positions here. But the way was that the trash talking can go so far and also try to be immature enough. I mean, if this was like a secondary cornerback doing this stuff, like we would actually be more pissed off that if say for example, Jalen Carter was like a cornerback, like a Richard Sherman, and he would just like blabbermouth Dak Prescott. I mean, that would have been more easily like our heads will explode because we're already desperately enough like without the cornerbacks that we have, and then he actually gets ejected for that. But the one thing he has to do, my dad makes a very good point here, and I agree 100% here, is that he's got to clean up his control and has to channel the aggression at the same time too. And that's the most important key. Because last night they had a little bit more of undiscipline after that penalty happened with Carter. I mean, Nolan Smith's like flexing and he's doing this, that, and the other. There was a couple penalties that could have easily been called, but somehow in some way they weren't called. So it felt like it was one of those games. And also to quote a great announcer of the NHL, Judge Surratt, would say some of them were just a freaking joke. But at the same time too, it was. I mean, the way it was like I said, the refs to me. Like last night, I felt like I was watching a baseball game with MLB umpires, like trying to be the center of the game and not between Eagles and Dallas. It was more the refs trying to tone down the aggression after what had happened with Jalen Carter more than anything.
The one thing before we get to the new acquisition, Mitch, I wanted to just say something. So Jalen at the end of the game during the interview, It was him and Saquon. Without directly bringing it up, he did kind of bring up like we weren't disciplined enough. We weren't mentally strong enough tonight,
right?
Disciplined enough. We got kind of outside of ourselves, and I think that was a shot at Nolan. I think that was a shot at Jalen Carter. I think Jalen is always proven that he's a consummate leader. Between him and Saquon, they got the locker room. So in the next couple days, I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Carter has to come and atone for it, both to just Jalen Hurts and to the rest of his team.
Yeah, maybe I have to have a come to Jesus moment and say, I'm sorry that the way I acted. I mean, we all make mistakes. I mean, it's not. I mean, that's the other thing too. Is like he owned up to the mistake. He's not going to be like, he did it. He like kind of like you said, Joe, like two high school students trying to make their presence known, and also their side of the story. He's gonna be like, you know what, shit, I screwed up. It's all me. Let's move on. Let's win another title. I mean, I would rather him condone like the mistake and also owned up to it, and also at the same time to try to use it as motivation going forward too.
And this is where Zadarius Smith comes into play. Like I said before, he's 32 years old. He's about to turn 33 on September 8th. And remember how we were talking about like who are the vets of this defensive team?
Yeah,
Darius Slay is gone, Garner Johnson's gone, Brandon Graham is gone.
that's true.
That's where Zadarius Smith can come into play to help Jalen Carter, to help all these young guys. And he's a 3-time Pro Bowler, a pass rusher, something we desperately needed. Now that we got him, and this incident with Jalen Carter, it's 2-1, come both hands. So for me, I like this move. The next
I do too.
CB2. That's the next move.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. You make a very good point here about this too. The reason why they probably brought in Zadarius Smith is probably the reason they're probably worried that Jalen Carter might be gone for a little bit of time, and they brought in like a veteran presence because there isn't a veteran presence on that not secondary. Well, yeah, obviously secondary, but more on that defensive front. And maybe Zadarius Smith is that veteran leadership, like my dad brings up here, is probably they were looking for with that team. I mean, you can say Nolan Smith could be down the road. Same thing with Jalen Carter. But with that defensive front, there isn't a Brandon Graham there. So I would say, yeah, I think Zadarius Smith fits that bill very well. And I like the move, too. I think it's a very good move. I always liked Zadarius Smith going back to his Green Bay days, and I think he's going to do very well here, good admit.
Yep.
I wouldn't be too surprised if down the road, maybe with an injury, or if it doesn't if Zadarius Smith doesn't rectify the problem with the maturity and whatnot, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he's already going to be in the building, but I wouldn't be surprised if Howie tries to convince Brandon Graham to come out of retirement just to be a player on the 3, right. Just to be a player. Sometimes you just need a voice, and I kind of go back to like a guy like Maragos back in 2017.
Yeah.
He wasn't the guy that was going to light up the stat sheet, but he was the voice of that special teams crew that was very successful. And so, like, for me, I hope Zadarius Smith is that voice, and I think Howie's hoping that he's that voice. I also feel like they'll have BG involved. How involved? We'll see.
Yeah. So for Zadarius Smith, Joe, you asked for how much. It was like with the $9 million upside. So it's 1 year, $9 million pretty much for Zadarius Smith.
It's not bad.
That's good. I mean, we needed really something. Good. I'll take it. So I'm shocked are you guys shocked that this move just went down? Because honestly, I'm 50-50 because it's Howie Roseman at the end of the day.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
James, were you shocked about this move? Like us getting an edge rusher after what happened last night?
It's actually more exciting, gonna admit, Mitch. I think that's where I was at. I wasn't shocked by it. It was more like, wow, Howie being Howie again. That's what it came down to. Because I mean, for me, sometimes I would say I would be shocked. I mean, with Howie's moves, because especially like the John Mechie's is a good example of that, and even like A.J. Brown, like a few years ago at that draft party that me and Joey did over at Edge of Philly. No, I mean, it's one of those things that I have to say right now. It's just that Howie continues to. I mean, it's shocking that he continues to cook the sausage, and also continues to make a veteran presence on the field, because he know what happened last night with Jalen Carter, and he's like, oh shit, I gotta do something before this gets worse, and that's probably what he did.
I also think this Cowboys offensive line was a young, inexperienced offensive line, and we only hit Dak once.
Yeah.
And so that's not good enough. I mean, no. Fangio, his defense is predicated on the front four getting home. Now, if they can't get home, and that may have a lot to do with Jalen Carter not being there. I've said this before. When you got Jalen
Absolutely.
Carter that takes 2 players off of that offensive line, then all of a sudden you're talking about like one-on-ones and like a guy like Nolan Smith. I gotta say, like Jordan Davis impressed me last night
He did.
because he stepped up. And for all the talk about whether or not he's got the stamina, he stayed on the field for about 80% of the snaps last night. So I will applaud Jordan Davis in that. Now, I agree with Zadarian Smith. The part of that is, okay, Nolan Smith and Jay Alexander are young gunners.
Mm-hmm.
But we need that guy that we can like hang our hat on that's going to be a bull rusher. That's
Yeah.
going to be able to be lined up right next to Jalen Carter and rush the quarterback and be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other thing too is I guess how he's preparing. If there's like a big long suspension on the in the reps, maybe that's why he brought in Darius Smith too.
Ian Rappaport and a couple other people early this morning basically tweeted out that they don't suspect that another suspension will be coming down for Jalen Carter, just a hefty fine.
Gotcha.
So the conversation has been Nick Sirianni is going to have to figure out how he's going to police this. You know, like you got a guy that, you know, if you let him walk away and don't reprimand him, your locker room for the remainder of the season might think they can do whatever they want.
Right.
You may have to crack the whip if you're Nick Sirianni. And so that suspension might not come from the NFL. That suspension might come from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's the thing too with that too, Joe, is that like that's a good question that Nick Sirianni, even though Sirianni had to. I mean, you remember a couple of times. I think last year when Jalen Carter was like acting that snarky. I think it was a game against the Saints. He was like trolling the Saints a little bit, and Nick tried to put him to the side. He's like, "Yo, dude, chill the fuck out," you know, because he was. I mean, that's what you need to do, especially when this happens. Is that Sirianni has to sit him down. I mean, not just Jalen Carter, maybe like a Nolan Smith or anybody like that. Learn something from your coach, Kirby Smart. Play more discipline. Like, play with more discipline. I mean, every time when you see, I mean, can you imagine if this was Kirby Smart last night seeing Jalen Carter do this? He would flip the frig out. I mean, I mean, even when Kirby Smart's up like 55-0, like he looks like somebody's just like coming out to get him. I mean, that's the problem. The thing about it too is that Sirianni's like that too with his players. It's just like it's not about how you play, and also it's not how you be disciplined. It's how you treat the play, how you act in a similar way. It's like learn something from your old coach. I mean, Kirby Smart loves you, but at the same time, he don't want no shit from you either. You don't want to take no shit from anybody. I mean, that's the thing. It's just that. I mean, it's not like the same thing with Saban too. Nick Saban wouldn't allow this. I don't think I would have expected. What's his name? If this was if Mike Krzyzewski was a coach in football, he wouldn't allow this either. I mean, that's the thing too, is that how Sirianni tries to nurse this and also has to I can't even speak. How to police this rather is that's going to be the most important thing, is that how they're going to continue to grow, and also how they can be more disciplined than they were last night, especially let alone that ejection to Jalen Carter that started off the game.
So we got to talk about Jalen Hurts, because he's the title.
Oh, yeah.
He's on the thumbnail. Jalen Hurts. If it wasn't for Jalen Hurts putting the Eagles on his back, we would have lost. I honestly, truly believe
no question.
he would have lost this game if it wasn't for Jalen Hurts. So, Joe, give me your thoughts on Jalen Hurts and his type of play last night.
Thought he wasn't an elite quarterback. I mean, that's all I've been hearing all season.
We can all go home.
He's not an elite quarterback. He's not an elite quarterback. This is a guy who basically put the offense on his back last night.
Right.
Like, he put this team on his back. He could have easily been rattled off of many different things. Number one, he could have been rattled with the whole Jalen Carter thing. Number two, he could have been rattled with the weather delay.
Oh,
Number
yeah.
3, he could have been rattled because the Cowboys showed one look going into the rain delay and showed a whole different look coming out. He didn't become rattled. He just zeroed in on what he needed to do. Look, it's never going to be pretty, but the thing that the guy always is capable of doing is winning. He knows how to get the job done. And this is a guy,
Right.
okay, all I heard too was all Jalen Hurts does is do the tush push. He didn't do the tush push twice to score touchdowns. He ran it in. Like, okay, like let's be clear about something. And first, and here's something else. Why I'm on this quarterback evaluation process. Something that was said in pregame, and I don't know if it was my good friend Chris Sims, but God forbid if it is. Someone said that Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback in the league. I said, I'm sorry, what now? I'm like, Jalen, do you not realize what Jalen Hurts is over there? Like, you sure you don't have your names mixed up? Because Dak Prescott hasn't been relevant in 2 years, since he was like runner-up for the MVP. What are we talking about here? So he had less than 2,000 yards passing last year. What are we talking about? Top 5 quarterback? What are we basing that off of? And so what Jalen Hurts did last night proved to me he's going to lead this team to victory, whether it's with his legs or with his arm or with his leadership. Whatever he's got to do, he's going to do.
Mhm.
And I think that is what makes him elite.
All right, James.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you make a very good point there, Joe, especially with, I mean, the thing about it, too, that is really surprising, he could have been perfect all night. I mean, my dad brings up a very good point here, too. 19 for 23, 3 throwaways, and 1 drop pass. He didn't have 1 incompletion all night last night. 1 incomplete. Like, if the only incompletion he had was just throwing the ball away, that's a perfect night. I mean, you cannot ask for a perfect night for your elite quarterback. And let me say something about this, too, about Jalen Hurts here, about this, too. Can we finally put the haters to bed, just thinking that he's not an elite quarterback? I mean, he is one guy for years, still hasn't gotten the attention after winning a Super Bowl, winning his best game of the season, and also last night just showing how much poise he has. I don't know how much more I could take of the haters just saying, oh, Jalen Hurts is not this, Jalen Hurts is not that. Are you even watching the fucking game? Are you not even watching? I'm sorry. I mean, look, I apologize. I want to keep this a family show here. But are you guys watching the fucking game? I mean, seriously. I mean, that's the shit that drives me crazy about this team. It's because, like if he's not playing with his hair on fire, it's a lost cause. I mean, Cam Newton can go scratch. Phil Simms can go scratch. I'm tired of everybody. All that matters is we're 1-0. We won the Super Bowl. Enough of this bullshit, and I'm tired of it now. I don't have to show you how much poise we have anymore with this team. I know what this team is. This is what we are. And if you don't want to be a part of it, then good. We don't want you to be a part of it. But my 2 cents is I know who I'm seeing every single Sunday, and I see an elite quarterback in my own eyes. Time to yours.
There you go. So for me, because I want to talk about the Chiefs a little bit, because we do have the Chiefs next week.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
For week 2. We'll talk more about it next week, but I want to just iron something out here. Jalen Hurts, he just has to keep on doing what he's doing. And you know who was at the stadium last night? You know who was there?
MJ.
Michael Jordan. Michael Jeffrey
MJ in
Jordan
the house.
was at the game. Yes, Jalen Hurts is a part of Jordan brand. Yes, but Jalen took advice from Michael Jordan about how to win, how to be more of a leader, and all this. And now MJ's just paying to pray. Like, I can't believe he was actually in the link.
I know.
I can't believe MJ was actually in the link.
Crazy. And the press box.
Right? Hey, he's not coming to a Sixers game though.
No. Let's not get crazy.
Let's not get crazy. If he was at the Sixers game, he's leaving by the first quarter at halftime.
If he's going to a Sixers game, he better be buying the team.
Hey, MJ, can you come by when the Flyers are relevant again too? That'd be nice.
Here's the other thing that I'm starting to realize about MJ is that I think MJ is taking Jalen Hurts under his wing.
Guys.
You know, I honestly do. I think that MJ is like, okay, you want to be a champion? You want to be a multi-champion? All right, I got you. I'm your mentor. If Jalen Hurts' mentor is Michael Jordan, I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
I'm good with that too. I think all of us are good with that. Like MJ, all good. But yeah, really quick, how do you guys feel
as long as it's not about baseball? Don't take Michael Jordan's advice about baseball. As long as it's not about baseball.
Well, if it was baseball, it'd be what's his name?
Deion Sanders,
Ken Griffey.
Or Ken Griffey.
Yeah, Ken Griffey. Yeah. So,
Junior.
How do you guys feel about going up against the Chiefs for week 2? I'm nervous.
I'm not nervous.
I'm nervous. Okay.
Well, I'll say this right now. We know what the Chiefs are made of. We saw them in the Super Bowl. We knew how to put pressure on Mahomes. I think that's going to be the most important key. If you do the same result, do the same exact things that you did in the Super Bowl against Mahomes, this team could beat them. But obviously, it's not going to be a big blowout. I mean, it might be a little bit of a sweat, but I think the Eagles will be okay. I think we'll be fine. And going into next week, what you have, especially if you don't have like Jalen Carter next week, you got Zadarius Smith. That will be something to keep a close eye on too. So I'm not nervous about it. Anything. I mean, I feel more resilient more than anything. Going to admit.
All right, Joe, how do you feel about going up against the Chiefs for week 2?
So I wasn't nervous originally, and then what the thing that kind of stirred me a little bit with being a little nervous is the potential for Landon Dickerson to miss that game with an back, because you're going to be going against Chris Jones. Like, Chris Jones is one of the best D tackles in the league, and that means if Chris Jones is getting penetration, that's going to make life very difficult for Saquon Barkley. That's going to make life very difficult for Jalen Hurts. It's just going to make life difficult. I think that, if they can neutralize a little bit of that, I think that the Eagles got a real chance still. I think that here's the thing. Just like last night was a mucked up game, like it was really ugly, the Cowboys knew that they had to make that game ugly to give themselves a chance. I'm going to say the same thing needs to happen for the Eagles against the Chiefs next week. We have to make it ugly against the Chiefs. Yeah. I think that gives us the better chance of winning the game.
Yeah. I mean, my dad makes a good point here, too. He says, we beat the Chiefs the last 3 times when we faced them, 2 times in the regular season and the last 2 seasons then in the Super Bowl. Here's the thing, too, about what the Chiefs is, too. They play tonight in Brazil. They just think about what happened last.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, right.
If you guys didn't know that, the game is only on YouTube.
Let me ask you about that, too, before I get to my point here.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, is there a cat here? Oh.
Is there a cat here?
He's trolling. must be a Swift fan. Must be a Swiftie.
You mean Travis Swift?
No, I'm joking aside. But they actually paint. If you guys didn't see this, in Brazil, they actually have the touchdown. Last year that the Brazil game for the Eagles was considered a home game. Chargers fans are actually going crazy. The thing in that one side of the field is the Chiefs logo of the red zone, and the other side is the Chargers. So I think, I didn't know it was that type of a game. I thought it was a Chargers game. Going to admit, but to my point here, though, don't mind him. He's fine. We're almost done here. For my game next week, I think the one thing that really surprises me more than anything is that after that road trip to Brazil, that's going to take a toll on them. I think it's going to take a toll on them too, like the Eagles did last year going to Brazil. I mean, the first game of the season, it's against the Eagles, and I'm not going to say the Chiefs are not going to be the Chiefs. It might be a little bit of a sweat, but I think in the end, I think the Eagles will go out with the victory. And right after that, we take on a troublesome shoulder in Matthew Stafford. And I think after we beat that, this is going to be a little bit of a semi-gauntlet, but I don't think it's going to be I don't think that stretch is going to be as stressful as I think it is. I think the Eagles will take it. I think the Eagles will take advantage of it when it's necessary.
So for me, why I'm really nervous is because of the CB2. I don't trust Adoree Jackson. I don't trust Kelly Ringo. I don't trust anyone over there. Maybe even Jacory and Bennett to a degree.
Yeah.
That is one. 2, I'm a little bit better now because we got Zadarius Smith. After we just got Zadarius Smith because we needed a pass rusher after what happened last night, I'm a little bit better, but I'm still on the nervous side.
I hear you.
Maybe next week I'll change my mind by next show because the next show we're going to just talk about the Eagles, Mahomes, all that stuff. So just a brief preview here, and I'm just like, Jalen Carter, if he's not there, it's gonna hurt us. It's gonna hurt us, but it looks like
you're right about
for it.
Yeah, you're right about that. I do agree there, brother.
Yeah.
Now, here's my question, guys, before we get out of here. Because of last night's game, AJ Brown is another kind of subtext topic from this game. Yeah. He only had 1 target in the fourth quarter. Now,
I had him for fantasy football. It hurts.
Yeah. Well, one of my questions is this: what do you think that someone like AJ Brown is going to pull out another book on the sidelines for the Chiefs game? And if so, which book do you think it might be?
I was going to say Dream Seller by Brandon Novak, but I think he's not on choice. No, I'm just kidding. It's a great book, by the way.
I don't have a book. I don't know.
Well, I
was going to say Treasure Island because that's the only thing he's looking for is more and more gold. And so I'm like, why not just do Treasure Island? But
actually, you could do. You could read one of Merrill's books. Turn your passion into profession.
Yeah, throw a little bone to Merrill.
Yeah, there you go.
By the way, it was Merrill Reese's birthday the other day, so
happy birthday, Merrill. Hope it was good.
Yeah.
So, but what did you guys think about the lack of production by AJ? Is it worrisome to you guys?
No, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I'm going to tell you why. He's going to ball out next game. He's going to ball out next game against the Chiefs. I'm fine.
Yeah, that's the why. Yeah. And the other thing too is that maybe Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland made a little bit tough for him last night, but they're 2 good cornerbacks. I got to admit though, they're pretty good.
Oh. But they also got that guy from Denver, Elam.
Yeah.
So he's good.
Oh,
too,
yeah.
But
forgot about that.
I am still of the opinion that AJ is still going to do AJ things.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't think. I mean, the way he handled it last night, I think it was a lot better than that Carolina game when he said something about the passing. So he knows. I guess he's just. I mean, I think next week I'm right there with Mitch, and I'm right there with you too, Joe. I think it's going to be. I think next game, I think he's going to see a lot more receptions going his way. I mean, I don't even know who's there on defensive front, on that cornerback front. I don't even know who's a big cornerback on that Chiefs front. It's not what's his name, Ladarius Smith. So I'm not still Ladarius Sneed. I mean, so it'll be something. It'll be something to keep a close eye on, though.
Yeah, we'll talk about that all episode next week because Eagles Birds week 2 Sunday at 4:20. So thank you guys for tuning in to this edition of Fly Like an Eagle podcast, post-game edition. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe. We are 4 away from 100 on Steampunk Sports Pennsylvania. Hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate that. Or just tap it or just knock into the field goal like Jake Elliott did. There you go. I gave Jake Elliott credit.
I was gonna ask you, Jake Elliott looked pretty good last night, my friend.
Okay. He still missed a kick in the Super Bowl.
Oh, God.
He still missed a kick in the Super Bowl.
Why are we arguing about a kicker? They're not even real football players.
This is past Super Bowl or Super Bowl
They're not
52.
even real football players. They're just kickers. Like the fact that
I can't imagine what it was like when David Akers was still around.
the
Jesus.
fact that Mike Tirico took 5 minutes to explain that there's a new rule about footballs and worn footballs for kickers. Like, Mike, I don't need to know this.
Unless it's Ace Ventura, I can give no. I mean, his name is not Jake Finkel, so that's all that matters.
All right, guys. Remember, laces out.
There you go.